Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is the day that the Lord has made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. I am Angela Thornton, and this is Wise Word Ministries. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I do appreciate all of you. Some of you who ride with us 7 days a week, some 3 days, however often you join us. We are grateful and we thank you for it because the Lord is good and his mercy endures forever. Hey, Ginger. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miriam and Ro and Vicky. So this morning we just gonna have a little chat about the blessing of the Lord. She is not sleeping. She texted me about 5:15 saying, I still haven't been able to go to sleep. Battling a headache still. And so far, she doesn't have any body aches like I had, but she does have a terrible, terrible headache. And my brother fixed up some holistic concoction and took it to her, oregano oil and something else. And so she drank some of that, and then he made her some sort of tea, something another. And she said it did make her feel better, and it's clearing up. She's filling her lungs. Yeah, insomnia. She just cannot sleep. So she's basically been up since yesterday. She's probably slept 30 minutes or so. So she isn't bad, but concerned that her dog is missing her because the dog can't come in the room, and the doggy daycare is booked through July, so she can't send the dog to daycare. So that you know, all I got to say is y'all folk with these little furry things, but she's going stir crazy. I don't like sitting still. If you don't get in that bed, I don't. I probably should get up and go in the kitchen. No, ma'am, you should quarantine. I probably could go outside in the back. Nobody's out there, and I could sit by the pool. If you go somewhere and sit, you got to walk through the house to get there. You got to walk through the house to get there, lady, because you blocked the entrance from your bedroom with a sofa. But thankfully, she is fully vaccinated and has her booster. And said, I kept saying I was going to go get the second booster. Her furry child. Yes, her furry child. So she is, I'll talk to her. And I don't want to call her now because I hope that she finally went to sleep. So I'm going to wait for her to call me. Hope she finally dozed off. But thank you for asking. Oh, Lord, we thank you this morning and we bless you and we honor you. It is your day. It is what you have made, and we choose to rejoice and to be glad in it, to say that you're good all the time. That your mercy endures forever. Great is your faithfulness to us. Great is your faithfulness to us. We thank you for your kindness, your protection, your provision. Even when the news isn't good, you are. And so we honor you today for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. In Jesus' name, amen, amen. How you feeling, Annette? How's your eye? Susan sent me a text to say that the doctors are very encouraged by her progress. They believe that um, all of the cancer is gone, and he said what he did see was infinitesimal. That the chemo um, worked, and that what they thought was cancer was just a little node, and it is indicative of all of the surgeries and the treatments that she has had. So she said most days she's feeling very good. Most days she's feeling good. So we are grateful to God. Please pray for Patricia Curry as she travels today. She's in some pain, but she has to drive back home to visit um, her very dear friend, Sis Diane, who is battling cancer also that the doctors believe has metastasized. But we're just thanking the Lord and believing that we're going to get a good testimony for both of them. So God is faithful. God is faithful. God is faithful. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Very good. Very good. Very good. So Proverbs 10:22 says, the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. If it is a blessing from the Lord, a blessing of the Lord, there is no sorrow with it. There is no um, quid pro quo. You don't have to do anything unethical, immoral, or illegal for the Lord to bless you. If someone blessing you and it is contingent upon you uh, lowering your morals, that ain't God. That's not God. So just know that. Exodus 23:20-26. This is the Lord speaking to Israel about how he's going to bless them. Hey, Ada, something about that blessing of the Lord makes rich, but that he adds no sorrow with it. You ever had anybody give you anything and it just didn't feel good? It came with a whole bunch of strings attached. When the Lord blesses you, there are no strings attached. God does what he does because he's God, because he's good. And if some people say, well, yeah, it is, you have to obey. You got to obey him. Well, honey, you got to obey him anyway. You have to obey the Lord anyway. But there are no strings attached. God doesn't say to you, if you help me do this, I'll grease your palm. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. No, he doesn't operate that way. Sometimes God blesses you just because you belong to him. You didn't do nothing to deserve it. You're like, oh. But in Exodus 23:20-26, the Lord said this, behold, I'm going to send an angel before you to guard you along the way, to bring you into the place which I have prepared. First of all, he is saying with them, listen, not only am I with you, I have an angel that is going before you. And he's going to guard you on the way that I've already decided you should go, to the place that I've already prepared for you to have. And he tells them, listen, be on your guard before him now and obey what he says. Pay attention. Watch. Be on the lookout. And then pay attention and do what he says. Don't rebel. Nobody want to hear, well, I think it'd be better if we go this way. I mean, this way is shorter. Why we got to go the long way? I mean, for real, if we just could cut through Shechem, we could get there faster. No, you just don't be rebellious, because he's not going to pardon your transgression. since my name is in him. So if you don't do what the angel says, really what you're saying is you're not going to do what I say because my name is in him. Hey, Baltimore. Good morning, Adam. He said, but if you truly obey his voice and do all that I say, if you truly obey his voice, not that halfway, well, I'm going to do just enough. I'm going to do enough to make him think I'm doing what he's saying. If you truly obey his voice and do all that I say, because he's only saying what I say, then I'm going to be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. That's what I'm going to be. They don't like you. I'm not going to like them. They're coming for you. I'm going to come for them. That's what he's saying. Listen, I got you. My angel is gonna go before you to bring you into the land of all these ites. All them ites. Amorites, Hittites, Canaanites, Hivites, all them ites. And I'm going to completely destroy them. See, sometimes we see what looks ahead of us and we're like, God, how I'm supposed to do that? You see them giants over there? You see all them ites? They all cousins. All their last name is Ite. Hivite, Hittite, ites. They related, guys. They thick. They stick together too. They banding together. What we gonna do? Don't worry about that. I'm a completely destroy. I'm not just going to destroy them because I might leave one or two. You know, I'm a completely destroy them. I'm going to obliterate them. They're not going to be a ite in sight. He says, but listen, on your way to the place that I've prepared, you're going to meet distractions. You're going to run into some roadblocks. You're going to see some stuff that's shiny and pretty and sounds good and looks good, might even feel good. But don't you worship their idols, their gods. Don't you serve them. Don't you do what they do. I know you see them doing what they do and you think it's working out for them. But I'm here to tell you that it won't. But I want you to utterly overthrow them and break up all their sacred pillars and pieces. Let me tell y'all how I know doing what you see other folk do does not work for you. I was about 5. And I saw this little girl have a temper tantrum of another ethnicity. She fell out in the flow. Just fell out. Yeah. Just out. Kicking and screaming. And she was yanking stuff off the rack. And nothing happened. I was like, well, look at that. So when my mama said no to me, we were in the same store, in the same section, with the same clothes, on the same rack. When she said no to me, like that little girl's mom said no to her, and that little girl fell out and kicked and screamed and yanked stuff off the rack, and her mama didn't do nothing. Well, I figured, shoot, let me see if that worked. Because what her mama did do was say, I have a treat for you if you stop. I said, well, what you say? So I fell out. And I kicked and screamed. And I hollered. And I pulled stuff off the rack. The end result was not the same. Let's just say the end result was not the same. I did the same deed that she did, but I did not get the same result that she got. The end result was not the same at all. Yeah. I was like, oh. Listen, the mama that I was with was not the same mama that she was with, because the mama that I was with went down, finished her shopping, turned and looked at me and said, well, what? And didn't say nothing else. So when we got to the next department, I did it again. And I did it 3 times. And then she went downstairs to accessories and purchased a belt. And then she marched me back to every department where I showed out and said, you had your show. Now, mama getting ready to show you how it's really supposed to be done. Because I promise you'll never do this again. And she was correct. I did not. And then she returned the belt and said it had served its purpose. And here's the receipt. Yes. I did not do it again. Ever in life. I never thought about it. And I woke myself up if I dreamed about it. I did not. That's what God is saying. Don't you do according to their deeds, because it's not going to work out. You're not going to get the same results. Trying to tell you. He said, but you need to serve the Lord your God, and He's going to bless your bread and your water. And I'm going to remove sickness from your midst, and ain't nobody going to be miscarrying or barren in your land. And I'm going to fulfill the number of your days. My mother was trying to end the number of my days. I felt like it. I felt like the number of my days, as I said, were coming nigh. I just want you to know, don't do what they do. It's not going to work out like it for your good. Trust the Lord. Don't worship their gods. Don't serve them. I'm trying to tell you. I have discovered mommies of a certain melanated hue operate different. Yeah, they don't operate the same. They're not wired the same. Thus, their children cannot act the same for the most part. And so God says to them, don't you do what they do. Don't you serve them. Don't you think that that's going to work out for you like that. Because it won't. He said, listen, I'm going to send hornets ahead of you. So they're going to drive out all them ites. I'm not going to drive them all out at the same time in a single year, because I don't want the land to become desolate and the beasts to be too many for you. I'm going to drive them out little by little until you become fruitful. See, you got to get acclimated to where you're going. You got to get acclimated to the place when you get there. You got to understand that the land where you're going to is not like the land where you're coming from. It's not like the land in Egypt. It's not desert like that. It's a different land. So you have to learn how to be fruitful. You need to learn how to farm the land and how to you need to learn what grows and how to make it grow and what doesn't grow. You need to understand and learn the different rivers in the water system and how it flows and how that's going to affect the land. Is it rainy? Is it not? See, and then you got to take possession of the land. You've been enslaved for so long that you don't quite know yet how to be free. So I'm taking you to some place where you're going to be fruitful, but you got to get acclimated. And you're going to possess the land, but now you got to get enslavement out of your mind so that you can take possession of the thing I've given you to make you prosper and help you be free. Get your friend off YouTube talking about he know how to farm the land. God says, listen, I'm going to fix your boundary from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines. And he told them how much land is theirs, what their boundaries are. And I'm going to deliver all the inhabitants of that land into your hand. And it's your responsibility to drive them out. He says, listen, you become fruitful and take possession. I gave it to you. Now go get it. I said it was yours. And you standing back there talking about, for real, God, all of that is ours? Wait, from the Euphrates, from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines, from the desert to the Euphrates, all that? He said, now go get the land. You like, well, there's giants. He said, didn't I tell you? I'm going to drive them out. You just got to fight. You just got to go in and say, this is mine. This is ours. This is where we going to live. God said so. You got to go. I'm going to drive them out before you. I'm going to drive them out. He said, listen, I'm going to deliver them. You drive them out. Here they are in your hand. Now you open the door and kick them out. I'm sending an angel ahead of you to guard you on the way. Pay attention and listen to what he says. So he's given you the plan. The angel is going before you. He's going to protect you. Just listen to what he says, because what the angel is saying is what I am saying, because I'm speaking to the angel for you. Don't you worship their God? Don't be talking about, well, you know, they got big, pretty church over there. Look at the stained glass windows. They got, ooh, we didn't worship nothing like that. We got a tabernacle. We got to pick it up and tote it around. Look over there. Look all that gold. No, no. Don't you see that and get excited? You see how big that house is? Look how many chariots they got. They got gold wheels. God, no, no. Mm-mm. Don't worship them. Don't serve them. Because, you know, enslavement is in your mind. So you thinking, well, they big, they bad. We'll just serve them. They can't be any worse than the Egyptians. No, no. Don't do it. They going to be your enemy and I'm going to be theirs. When my angel goes before you, that's all right. We're going to make an end to every enemy. Because I have a blessing that I've prepared beforehand. I'm going to deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and I'm going to drive them out before you. I've already decided that this is your land. I've already decided that this is your place of blessing. I've already decided that this is what you're going to get. I've already decided that. I've already decided how you go move. I've already decided you're going to be fruitful. I've already decided that you're going to take possession of the land. I've already decided that I'm going to deliver them for you. I'm going to just let you drive them out so you know victory is yours and everything. I've already decided that I'm going to deliver them. It's like in war, and they bring the enemy to you and say, this is your enemy. Now put the handcuff on them and take them to jail. Yeah, you physically took them to jail. You physically locked them up. But somebody brought the enemy to you. And this is what the Lord is saying. I'm going to drive them out little by little until you become fruitful, which means you're going to become fruitful, which means you're going to take possession. So, because if I did it all at one time, then the land would become desolate. And then the beast would be too much for you. You're not used to this. See, some blessings you can't get it all at one time because you couldn't handle all of it at one time. You can't handle it all at one time. And so God said, I'm going to give it to you little by little by little. It's like if you won the lottery and you won, say, $100 million. If you took it all at one time, you would be overwhelmed, which is what happens to so many young athletes. And they go from being in abject poverty to having $20 million at their hand at one time. They don't know what to do with that. They can't handle that. But if you decide, I'm going to take the lottery in a little bit of the time, year one, you might blow through it. But by year 5, you're used to it, little by little, and you know what to do with it. And so now you become a better investor. Now you don't spend frivolously. Now you understand I don't need all them cars and I don't need all them jewelry and all that houses and I don't need all these hangers on. You ask athletes who tell you in the beginning they lost their mind and then they came back to it. And then they learn how to save and they learn how to invest and they learn how to build. He said, until you become fruitful. I'm going to drive them out little by little until you become fruitful. So the fruit, when you become fruitful, is really on your faith and your obedience and your willingness to do the work to become fruitful and to take possession of the land, to understand that God has given this to me. It belongs to me. He said I was worthy, so I am worthy. And I can't feel bad. I can't have survivor's guilt. God, you know, you bless me more than you bless everybody in my family. And I feel guilty that. Did you obey him better than everybody? Did you serve him better than everybody? Well, God, you know they don't understand and they say, I changed. If you're walking upright before the Lord and he is blessing you and making you be fruitful, and his word is coming to pass, you're going to change. Why? Because the blessing of the Lord makes one rich and adds no sorrow. And quite possibly before the Lord started blessing you, you had lots of sorrow. You're going to change. You're going to be more faith filled and faithful. Your trust and your belief in the Lord will skyrocket. Your desire to obey him will be more. And so the more you choose to obey him, the less you choose to walk with those who are walking in disobedience. So yes, you will change. You will see things differently with different eyes. You won't see them through the eyes of the world. You'll see them through the lens of the gospel of Jesus Christ. You'll see them through the eyes of your God. You'll see them through the eyes of one who is spending time with the Lord. So yes, you will change. You won't see the glass as half full. It's half empty. You will see it. You know what, God? I see the fullness, because in your presence is the fullness of joy. And at your right hand are pleasures forevermore. God says to listen, he gonna fulfill the number of your days. I can't die early because you're gonna fulfill the number of my days. He says, listen, don't worship their gods. Don't serve them. Don't do what they do, because you know what happened. But you will utterly overthrow. Hey, Paulette, you will utterly overthrow them and break their sacred pillars in pieces. Don't you have nothing in your house that is worshiping something else? Well, I'm gonna just keep this as a memento. I know I don't need no memento. My remembrance is my memento. He said, but you shall serve the Lord your God, and he will what? Bless your bread and your water. And I'm going to remove sickness from your midst. And nobody is going to miscarry. And no one is going to be barren. And I'm going to fulfill the number of your days. And here's how you know there will be no barrenness in your land. Because he said you're going to become fruitful. You cannot be fruitful and barren at the same time. You cannot be fruitful and barren at the same time. Because if it's bearing fruit, it's not barren. You ever seen a mango tree full of mangoes? That's not you understand. That's not a barren tree. He says, and take possession of the land. And he told you how he's going to drive them out. I'm going to send hornets ahead of you. What I find interesting is the hornets is not stinging you. It's stinging them. I'm going to send these hornets, and they're going to drive out them Hivites. Part of the ites is going to be gone by these here hornets. The Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites. Their crew is out of here. The hornets going to get them. You ever been stung by a hornet? You understand how this feels. He said, but I'm not going to drive them all out in a single year. So now what God is saying is, you're going to live in the land with these Hivites, Canaanites, and Hittites. And he is sending hornets to drive them out while you're living in it and getting acclimated to it. So your blessing will be, you're going to have to learn how to live among the ones that he is telling you not to consort with. Don't you do what they do. And you're going to live there and watch God move. I'm going to drive them out before you. You're going to be looking at me do it little by little. And you're going to see them declining. Well, we got here, it was 100,000 of them ites. I think it's probably about 50,000. Lord have mercy, Jesus. It's been 2 years since 20,000 of them. Where they go? The hornets got them. I haven't seen a hornet of them in this neighborhood. Huh. Well, glory be to God. They all gone. The hornets went too. Lord, look at the fields. Be fruitful. Look at the fields. We have gotten acclimated to your blessing. Indeed, we have changed. We're not walking in fear. We don't fear them because you're with us and you've gone before us. So we thank you. We like, Lord, look at there. Ain't God good? And that's what he's saying to you. You got to learn. We have to learn how to trust God, how to believe him for everything he has said. Trust that every word he has given us is true. Trust that God can't lie. Trust that if he said, I'm going to bless your bread and your water, then my bread and my water is blessed. Trust that he says, listen, I'm going to bless you going out. I'm going to bless you coming in. I'm going to bless you in the city. I'm going to bless you in the field. Trust that. Believe that. Know that he can't lie. He cannot lie. You're like, well, God, I don't know how you're going to do it. Listen, if I ask you for learn how to trust him, if I said I need you to come and help me because my battery need jumping, do I care how you got there? I just care that you coming with the cables. It go help me jump this battery. Do I care how you know how to jump the battery? No. I just know that you know. I just know that this is what God said. I'm gonna read it to you in the New Living Testament just because it reads a little more in today's language. And so I want to read it to you that way. He says, listen, you must see pay close attention to my angel, obey his instructions, don't rebel, because he's my representative and he's not going to forgive your rebellion. But if you're careful to obey him, following all my instructions, I'm going to be an enemy of your enemy, and I'm going to oppose those who oppose you, because my angel going to go before you with all them ites. Don't worship the gods of these nations. Don't serve them in any way. Don't imitate their evil practices. Instead, you must utterly destroy them and smash their sacred pillars. You have to serve only the Lord your God. If you do, I'm going to bless you with food and water. I'm going to protect you from illness. There going to be no miscarriages or infertility in your land. I'm going to give you long, full lives. I will send my terror ahead of you and create panic among all those lands that you invade. Now, don't be invading nothing I didn't tell you. I'm going to make all your enemies turn and run. I will send terror ahead of you to drive out all them ites, the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites. But I'm not going to drive them out in a single year, because the land would become desolate and the wild animals would multiply and threaten you. And I don't want that, you see. I'm going to drive them out a little at a time until your population has increased enough to take possession of the land. You got to be fruitful. And then I'm going to fix your boundaries from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, and from the eastern wilderness to the Euphrates River. And I'm going to hand over to you the people now living in the land, and you're going to drive them out ahead of you. Now, don't make no treaties with their gods. They must not live in your land. They can't live among you, or they're going to cause you to sin against me. And if you serve their gods, you're going to be caught up in the trap of idolatry. Now, they can't live with you. Well, they're not all bad gods. Some of them is all right. Not all of them is idolatry. Because, these over here that live next door to me, they kind of cool. All of them. That's how we do. Ain't that how we do, David? We say, well, not all of them not bad, God. All of them not wicked. No, he said that can't none of them live with you. Now, I done took and told you. None of them. Let none of them live with you. We want to keep one or two, because some of them I like. No, the Lord say all of them got to go. They're cousins, not the one you like. All of them must go. And I got you. The blessings of the Lord. The blessing of the Lord. The blessing of the Lord maketh rich, add no sorrow. That's what he's saying. Listen, God is saying, I got this. I got you. I'm going to bless you real good. Trust it. And then take possession of what I said I'm going to give you. Don't decide, well, you know what? Since we invading here, I think we like over there too. No, you invade what I done took and told you and leave the rest of it alone. The Lord is still blessing. Even in an economy with $5, $6, $7 gas, He is still blessing. He is still blessing. He is still blessing. And we have to trust that. That God is not constrained by a bad economy, a bull market or a bear market, a depression or an overflow. He is still blessing. Whether you see it or not, He is still blessing. And we have to know that, trust that, and believe that the Lord is nigh. I don't know why He keep wanting me to say that He is still blessing. And I know it can seem difficult, and we start wondering, well, God, where are you? You know, how these people doing what they're doing? Where are you in all of this? How come I don't see you in all of this? How come I can't feel you in all of this? And He said, well, just because you don't see me doesn't mean I'm not here. Stop trying to figure out what you can't see. Just know, I never leave you nor forsake you. I got you. And as Reverend Ike said, you can't lose with the stuff he used. Well, yeah, you could. Now, what you really can't lose is when you're with God. You can't lose when the Lord is ever present before you. You can't lose when the Lord is on your side. You can't lose with God. Be still and know. I lied to y'all. You can't lose with the stuff I use. Well, I don't know what stuff you using, but I do know this. God ain't never lost. I do know this. Jesus is alive and Ike is dead. I know that. So I don't know what you was using, but it didn't keep you in this earth. So I think I'm gonna go with the one who died and rose with all power in His hand. Yeah, that's the one I'm going with. You sounded good though. The Lord is good, and He blesses, and He keeps us, and He goes ever before us. And then came Jesus, and not Reverend. So be blessed in your day. Enjoy your day. Anybody want to pray Tuesday? Because I'm working the polls and I have to be there at 6 a.m. And so I can't be online and be there then. So does anybody want to pray Tuesday morning? Well, don't everybody speak up at one time. No? Okay. Just thought I'd ask. June 18th. I'm having a celebration Monday because it's my birthday. So I'm singing to myself loud. You are my beloved child. I chose you before the foundation of the world to walk with me along paths designed uniquely for you. Concentrate on keeping in step with me instead of trying to anticipate my plans for you. If you trust that my plans are to prosper you and not to harm you, you can relax and enjoy the present moment. Your hope and your future are rooted in heaven, where eternal ecstasy awaits you. Nothing can rob you of your inheritance of unimaginable riches and well being. Sometimes I grant you glimpses of your glorious future to encourage and spur you on. But your main focus should be staying close to me. I set the pace in keeping with your needs and my purposes. Look at that. If you trust that my plans are to prosper you and not to harm you, you can relax and enjoy the present moment. Ain't that what he said? Listen, I'm going to give you this land. I'm going to drive them out little by little till you become fruitful. See what I'm saying? And take possession of the land. Your hope and your future are rooted in heaven, where eternal ecstasy awaits you. Nothing can rob you of your inheritance of unimaginable riches and well being. Sometimes I grant you with glimpses of your glorious future to encourage you and spur you on. But your main focus, staying close to me. Yeah, David, I've been working since June the 10th. We started early voting every day. It's been interesting. Yeah, have a great day. Can somebody pray and ask the Lord about this bipolar weather? Yesterday it was 98 degrees. Today it's going to be 75. Go figure. It was 98 the last couple of days. Today it's going to be 75. Yeah, if you're in DC, please come out and vote. Early voting. Don't wait until Tuesday. And then there's a line and you mad. Just come out and do early voting. You in and out in 5 minutes. I think Maryland has early voting also. So participate. It matters. I will see you all in the AM. Wait, it's third Sunday. Whoa, in the 50s. Whoa. Okay, I won't complain about 75. Ooh. It's third Sunday. Rochelle, you ain't remind me. Communion Sunday tomorrow. I'll see y'all in the morning. Bye-bye.